Recently, there have been a lot of news circulating around the gaming industry. For instance, Oblivion Remastered just shadow dropped. You got Cleric Obscure Expedition 33 releasing to positive reception. Xbox then hiking the prices on their hardware by like 80 to 100 on consoles and 10 plus for accessories after Nintendo set the bar. Then you got like EA laying off Respawn Entertainment's team. There's like 100 people because of an extraction shooter. People are still unsure about Bungie's new Marathon reboot, which is strange. Then GTA 6 got pushed back to May 26, 2026. The world is in shambles as usual, and last but not least, people are switching from consoles to PCs in waves. I want to say, do not fret, my brethren. There is hope in the future. Why is that? From an optimistic yet cautious look at life, we are still living a nuclear warfare free life as of yet. We still have advanced technology that surpasses our past problems. We have instant communication in the form of Discord, YouTube, and other platforms that isn't Twitter. The next Halo Infinite summer update will release tomorrow, which, by the way, I'm really looking forward to, as well as my friend. Nature is still giving birth to the most beautiful arts like animals, trees, and all that metamorphosis stuff. And there's a bunch of other things in life. So, the reason why I'm making this video is to give an assurance perspective that despite the shit show that's going on in life, we still have a lot of the media to play, like video games, music, art, books, TV, and a whole lot of them to enjoy. Putting set aside my biases and my personal differences between other content creators and their opinions, notably the unjustified blatant hatred towards Halo, I want to say as a 25-year-old on this planet, I can express that there is hope for the future. We are living in such a tumultuous time when video game prices are hiking up, wages are stagnant, corporal greed and suits are rampant, and oblivious to the fact of their own creation is just falling downhill with quality wise. But now, this is an age of backlog gaming. What is that, you may ask? It's essentially just going back to finishing or getting a chance to play games that you haven't experienced yet. Games like Nintendo GameCube games you haven't played yet, but want to get into, all the sorts of stuff. And it's also a time for AA games and indie games to thrive, succeed. So, what do you do now with the huge news that's been going on lately for the past month or so? Well, you can vote with your wallet. You don't have to buy every single game on launch. You do not have to buy EA games. You do not have to buy Madden. Do not do this. Do not do that. I'm just gonna be honest, guys. I'm not gonna force you to do anything just because a YouTuber said so. We humans have free will, and the best thing we can do is speak up financially. As hard as it can be, there are ways that we can thrive within the ninth generation of video games that are easily said than done. Personally, from my point of view, I do not care about corporate Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo. In fact, I've been an Xbox user for about 20 years. I've also been playing on PC for about 19. Just because I do not like games doesn't mean I bash on them. And like this is like guiltily just a direct message to Halo haters who still keep doing this shit today, and it's really annoying. On the bright side, I got a Series X in December of 2021 before everything was, going bad and rough. I really have no huge bias being towards a console or PC gamer because the way I see things is they're just plastic boxes. They're just hardware. Like, why would they care about your feelings or your opinions if they're just literally technology? Like, we are so engrossed in the reality of using technology every day that we forget that where we began and where we started gets lost in the cloud, like not like in the cloud of sense of like cloud gaming, but like in the cloud of judgment, the cloud of hatred, And I want to say this, just always remember your roots, where you came from. I bet you assured that a lot of us people really came from consoles growing up. Like in the 90s and the early 2000s, people used to play like the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, the PlayStation, the N64, and all that. I think there are way too many fanboys within these media discussions because a lot of them would just say, oh, just hop on over to freaking PC, like consoles are failing, Xbox is dead, PlayStation sucks. Oh my god, these PC master race elitists are very cringe and immature. They are literally just so annoying. They don't really have any good value input to just otherwise just brag and boast about themselves, which is really coming off as just a fanboy. On the main side of things, as the thumbnail says for Halo, I think with the summer update, there are big things coming, and it's definitely an improvement with the spring update. Everyone trashed on the freaking Fuel Rod Spanker, which, by the way, I will defend the Fuel Rod Spanker. I think it's such an original hybrid weapon, and anybody who doesn't think it's fun or powerful to use is obviously missing the point of a video game. It seemed like the Skeleton Crew actually gave a damn, and they worked on the game. And for those who say, oh, it's a bittersweet update, that's really a huge understatement, because to be a Halo fan is to be different from a Halo fanboy. People like Subordinate Gamers or Minblins or Hidden Xperia, they don't get the realistic, grounded expectation of what's to come in Halo and video games in general. They still think they're living in 2007, like the golden height of video games in the seventh generation of consoles. Like, sure, we can make fun of EA and Ubisoft for making these dumb decisions of releasing these games that flop on release, but really we should be humble within our favorite franchises. And the reason why I say that is because this recently hit me as I was watching a meme video of my friend who was streaming on Discord. Not every gaming franchise has a perfect lineup. Like, even the greatest titles like Dark Souls or Legend of Zelda have some faults or entries that people do not like. Just because there's a few bad eggs, like people would argue Halo 4 and Halo 5, doesn't mean that the gaming icon that is like Master Chief or Sonic the Hedgehog invalidates or ruins their reputation forever, because the expectations since then have gone from like stage 2 to stage 10 in some weird absurd gap, believe, and this and like, once again, like, there's hope for the future. Like, no matter how you look at things in life from a depressing millennial perspective, which I assume most of the viewers of the Halo fan base or anyone that's grew up through the 90s and early 2000s in their 30s are watching these videos, and they're feeling really bad about themselves when really they should have been taking care of themselves, rather than just sitting in a doom gloom and do nothing about it. So honestly, besides all of that, like, just stuff and ad nauseum out of the way, here's my personal advice. Just take one step at a time. Take one step at a time, take one day at a time. Do not rush it. Appreciate the little things in life. Spend time with your friends and your family. Even if you can't, just smile for once. Like, it's statistically and scientifically proven that if you smile, if you force yourself to smile, you are a lot happier in life. And this can coincide with just exercise. I advocate for mental health, and I advocate for physical health as well. Just go out, run, walk, do all the other things. Shout out to other AA games or indie games like Warhammer, Space Marine, or Another Crap's Treasures. Like, really just games that are really fun, that really don't emphasis on like graphics or storytelling or anything. Like, even if a game is like really bad, for example, you still have the opportunity to turn it, flip upside down, and make it a lot of fun, which is, I don't think a lot of people really like notice that, besides me and like a few others, because everyone's too focused on just like bashing it with hatred and whatever. And yeah, and this can like go into what I said in my other past commentary video that I made. Do not dwell in the past. Like, Stop living in the past, live in the present, live in the future, just keep going. Don't sit there and like cry or anything. Like it's good to cry and all, but don't do it for far too long because it can ruin your perception of life. Stop hating and giving personal biases to games that you hate or like. Don't force it upon others. Just if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. But again, this is the internet. It's not physically possible to control people's voices. Do not gatekeep. I've seen this a lot of like on Discord and other social media platforms. It's really retarded and stupid. Like why would you gatekeep a game just for the sake of your own personal bias? Like it makes no damn difference. Don't be that one guy that everybody avoids entirely. And then my final advice to you is just, do not give up in life. I understand with how the struggles are in today's age with like the wages, the jobs, the relationships, and the fears. These fears can really control your life and give you uncertainty and like anxiety ridden as well, because honestly, like I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't exist. Like we are living in the 21st century, like compared to like 200 years of human past life. Like everybody has suffered, everybody has grieved, mourned, lost, like compared to like the Middle Ages with everybody living in that time, or the Roman Empire. Like we honestly worry about like even the most slightest of things that could affect our lives personally. And I understand that video games are really influential. They're really a huge difference in like the impact in our lives, because they shape us who we are. They really change our lives. They really start careers and opportunities for us to get into, even if it's just like, I don't know, like esports tournaments or being a Twitch streamer and all that. But honestly, just remember that life is a natural process. It can go up and down. It doesn't have to be entirely like sad or doom and gloom. Like if we lived in a world where life was always 100% happy or 100% sad, then it wouldn't be a balanced world, because it would act more like a dystopian or utopian place of ideals, and it can be a really scary thought to think about, really. And that is all I can just say for now into the moment, with what's going on in the gaming industry and everything. I just wanted to make this video, like, again, just to give my thoughts on what's going on. A lot of people are panicking. A lot of people aren't unsure of where things are to come. People are really hitting up against others who, like, own an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Nintendo Switch. Me, personally, I don't care because, again, they're just plastic boxes. Like, I forgot to mention this in my last commentary videos when I was just talking about like a personal bias as a gamer. I honestly think that the console wars and the, what is it, like the seventh generation, so like the 360 PS3 era, I think they're cringe. Like absolutely. Like to think that growing up as teens and kids, like we were just like, hey, my box is better than yours, like it's just like a weird immature thought to talk about, because like I get it at the time that we didn't know like what was to come. We had a lot better. We took life for granted, with the video games and the developers. And although as sad as it can be, like just seeing like your favorite franchise like stumble and fall, I don't really think it's entirely over until I say it's over, or entirely, or like until the universe demands that it's over. Like no matter how people hate Halo 4, or Halo 5, or Halo Infinite, it's always still going to be there. And no matter how much they're going to deny or cope or whatever, that they don't want to like really talk about it or play it, I honestly think that's just a huge disservice to yourself and as a gamer, because honestly, like I don't know why people just hate these games, like, and they think they're bad. Like, if you want bad games, all right, red herring here. Look at the games in the 1980s and the 1970s when gaming first started out. All right, you had these like mediocre, like broken games that that obviously like were made in like less than a week, like like ET for Atari 2600. Like these games can go from like really broken boring to oh my god, they're so bad boring. And they still continue to live in this day. Like it's just they're in the form of like double A games or like indie games or some shit you see like on Steam that's really weird and only sells for like $5. I honestly believe those are like the real bad games, not like bad AAA games like Halo 4 and 5 or Infinite where they're like so bad it like ruins the entire like iconography, if that's a word to say, to be honest. It just really depends on like the subjective view of personal games, and like how bad video games are. And like just surround yourself with friends, just surround yourself with people. Like if you don't like the game, then you don't like the game. Like don't just continue to like blare it out like a broken record player because that makes you look like an ass. And honestly, like that's just as much as I can be real with you without going into another can of deep worms for like 2 hours of philosophy, and just what I've seen. Anyways, yeah, I think that's about it for this video. I mean, to be honest, like we are living in a strange world, a strange time, strange generation of consoles. Who knows? Like, is Xbox gonna stop making Xboxes? Is PlayStation gonna stop making PlayStations? Nintendo, for sure, they're still gonna keep going, because they're Nintendo. Like, but the thing is, the prices are just mainly just based on inflation, like the world economy right now. Like, not many people are gonna realize that, and they just keep blaming on tariffs and all that crap. But yeah, I mean, that's all I can say for the moment. Like recently with my projects and my videos, I wanted to take this time to just say like thank you guys for watching the videos. Thank you for liking them. Honestly, life has been tough on my side as well, like with family drama like going on the household and just like bad anxiety just crawling up on me every day. I honestly make a lot of these videos not only just to entertain you guys, but also just to hone my passion for video editing, for recording, for commentating. Like I've grown up to be from like a small like obscure YouTube channel to like getting to more like a serious role. Job finding has been really hard. I mean, it's just luck based and just what's going on in the world today, but yet I try to keep going because that's the only thing I can do. I can just keep going. Like I never give up. Like I tell this with everybody I talk to who's in a very sad or state depression. I say never give up. At the end of the day, you're still living, you're still going to bed, you're still eating. Tomorrow there's always a new life opportunity, there's a new chance to seize the day, ad victoriam, carpe diem, baby. It's just a lot of going on right now, and yeah, I mean, and I just want to keep saying like keep on keeping on, just keep going, do whatever you can. Honestly, if that isn't the best of advice or support I can give to you, then I really don't know what it is, because I don't know. I'm just a human. I'm not a robot, I'm not Master Chief or anything, but yeah, I honestly think that's about it. So just take the time, go outside, talk to your friends, make sure they're happy, well. And with that, on the other hand, yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'll make the Halo Infinite Last 10 Operations video showcase tomorrow, and there's more to come. So, in the other words, I'll see you guys later, and this has been What's Gump, signing out. Peace.